was that? Never mind that. What was that?
Hi!
Who are you?
BARFF!
Not in here, mister. This is a Mercedes.
Nah, that's my name. BARFF!
BARFF? What are you?
And here we go. BARFF Fantasy Football Podcast, Season 5, Episode 14. We are here in the studio live. I'm Brian the Commish, joined by the best co-host in the podcast game, coming all the way down from the Great White North. Owner of Born to Run, Walt is here. Walt, how are you?
I'm good. Glad to be here.
All right.
Got a lot to talk about.
We have a lot to talk about because we have finished round one of the playoffs. So we had two teams on the bye. We had our number 1 and number 2 seeds on the bye. We had the other 4 teams that made up our 6-round tournament, our 6-team tournament going at it. And it makes for a quick review of the week.
It does.
But that's what we've got. There were some really exciting games. Once again, everyone had some life on Monday night. And that loudness is the owner of Soarin Eagles calling into the show. Jordan's on the line. Jordan, can you hear us?
Can hear you loud and clear. Good evening.
All right. Good evening. So, Jordan, we were just talking about the fact that we were down to 6 teams. Only 4 of them were in play because of the buys that we had for our top 2 seeds, and we only have 2 games to talk about. Thanks for joining us on the line. We understand that we're going to talk a little bit about the betting that we were discussing unofficially, of course, on the podcast last week. Is that true? Uh-oh.
Odds for the week.
There we go.
Okay. Also joining us on the line, the owner of Whopper Moppers. Tom's on the line. Tom, how are you?
Commish, Walt, Gort, how's it going?
Good, Tom.
Good.
Great. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we're a caring league.
That's right.
Caring league. I like it. All right. So, Walt, when we look at this situation, only 2 games to talk about. Which game do you want to talk about first?
Well, let's talk about the one that was kind of hanging in the balance right to the end, which was no lineup and the rifle.
No lineup needed, and the Springfield Rifle. This was not a 4-point difference in the result. Springfield Rifle come out on top, moving through round 1 into round 2, taking out no lineup needed 130.3 to 126.0. Well, what was the story of this game?
The story of this game is Cooper Kupp with a big fat 0. That's
so
what the
hard.
story was. I mean,
so hard.
That was just brutal.
You cannot overcome that.
He puts neighbors in. He wins. I just at this point in the season, to get a 0 from any player in your lineup, other than defense, maybe kicker, like you said, impossible to overcome. Impossible.
100%. And speaking of that, joining us on the line, the owner of No Lineup Needed, who suffered that previously mentioned less than 4-point loss, owner of No Lineup Needed, Christian's on the line. Christian, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm glad he's doing well. I was not sure you were going to reply with that way.
I'm over it at this point.
Attaboy.
That's a wrong thing. It will hurt. It hurts a lot. But
yeah.
You know, it's not useful for me to sit here and wail about keeping those neighbors on the bench anymore.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I mean, were you going to keep neighbors in the lineup and Kupp on the bench, Walt? Do you see a move like that?
No, I mean, how could you do that? I mean, the way what Kupp was doing, that's insane. So
doesn't make any sense.
That makes it a little easier, I think. Yeah, go ahead.
The only thing I will say is I wish the refs let the Falcons recover that fumble and run it back and see if it was a fumble. That's the only thing I'll say on that last drive.
I mean, I was texting.
Other than that,
that looked like a fumble to me. I'm not gonna lie.
I thought it was.
Yeah, it's unfortunate they blew the whistle. They let it play out.
I agree, and I really don't understand what goes on at the end. Really, when you have these situations and what's reviewable, what's not reviewable.
Right.
It seems like whatever I'm pretty sure of is unreviewable during these time periods. I don't know.
Me either. It doesn't make sense and. I still felt right to the end Ryder was going to do something.
Right.
And throw a pick, 6, anything.
Right.
Christian, I didn't rule you out all the way to the end. I still thought you had a chance.
I think I made the right decisions. Like, defense with 20 points, I just it hurts to be beat by Josh Allen 2 weeks in a row the same way.
He's on fire.
The defense just forgets.
The
defense just forgets to play defense 2 weeks in a row.
He has been on
that's
fire.
all I'll say.
Yeah.
Well, I agree their D is hurting, but Josh Allen, some of the throws he made were ridiculous.
He's dialed in.
They were in stride. It was he is the NFL's MVP by a long shot.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any doubt.
He's ridiculous right now.
And then, that gets followed up. If you look down the Rifles box score, and it's up on the screen now.
It ain't great.
There's not a lot going on once you get past the top 2 spots, but when you're getting 45.9 points from Josh Allen and 27.3 from James Cook, that's a start that you can't really overcome.
That's 72 points, and then you throw Nicole in there, and you're all the way up to almost 90. It probably is 90
right?
out of 3 guys.
Right.
I will say, it's funny how it was really just Groundhog's Day because I was up by 50 points with a great, projected winning percentage. The same way I was last week. Literally just the same situation happened 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, these rematch games. Yep.
Yeah, they do. And the weather too for the Rams game. I was listening to it. It was an ugly game.
Yeah, not terrific. And it's hard to beat a team 2 weeks in a row, but it happened this round for sure.
Sure did.
So, Jordan, when you look at this, is this unsurmountable when you get players like Josh Allen and James Cook blowing up? That just negates Lamar Jackson, or did you see a path to victory for no lineup?
Yeah, look at the two teams, their lineups, their points scored. There are difference maker individuals. In a sport of fantasy football, and Josh Allen is one of those guys, and he can just completely reverse. There's 5 guys in Rifles lineup that got single digits, and Josh Allen can still carry. So, that's the tale.
Yep. Tom, I'll go to you on this. A Springfield Rifle puts up 130 points with the hottest player in fantasy football, Josh Allen, right now. Looking down the barrel of a potential meeting with them, is this a team that you're scared of moving forward? Is this the hottest team in BARFF right now?
It's pretty remarkable. I think 2 weeks in a row. He's 55 last week, 45 this week. He's pushing 100 points in 2 weeks, and I wouldn't want to face him. Just the thought he's got an easy matchup this week against the Pats, so he could go for another 50 points.
Yep.
That might be just rushing the ball against a bat.
Yeah, the only thing that I could hang my hat on for that matchup is that you might not want to play a whole lot of Josh Allen against the Patriots. You think you can stake yourself to a little bit of the lead, and then maybe even start stashing some players away.
Actually, that's a good point. Yeah, you never know. You're
not going to need Josh Allen to score 5 touchdowns against the Patriots.
Right. Yeah, and I don't think it's a long shot to catch the Chiefs for the bye.
Yeah, I don't.
So I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they're. That's a pride thing. I think they're in, and they need to go in healthy. I think that's more important.
Yep, and the shot. Allen took one shot. I don't even know how he got up.
That's a big boy.
He is a big boy, man. He's like I said, he's playing at a different level right now.
He is doing a lot of amazing things. And so Springfield Rifle move on. This was a team that was part of that glut of teams vying for a playoff spot. They made it, and no lineup, a team that we had talked up an awful lot in the weeks heading into the playoffs, puts up a decent 126 points and doesn't lose by, it's just over 4. I'm sorry, I misspoke before, but that's tough. This is
a tough pill to swallow.
This is 3 years in a row that I think that no lineup can look at the end of the season and be like, it's so close.
Yeah, it's tantalizingly close, and one of these times I'm sure he's going to break through, but it's a long 12 months.
It sure looks good this year. So
Yep.
Hats off to you, Christian. You had a great run, and no lineup now moves down to the consolation ladder.
Welcome.
Right. Yes.
There's a lot of fun down there.
You just don't be on that bottom rung.
That's tough. Yeah, that's right.
Takes your whole season and throws it away.
There's only a couple left for the bottom now, right? Isn't that the way it goes?
You lost? Yeah, I think it's really just a few teams that can end up on the bottom at this point.
Right.
That's hard. It's hard. You don't see it coming, and then it happens. So. All right, where are we going next?
We got to talk about it. We got to talk about maybe the hottest. You got the hottest player on the team. but maybe the hottest team in our league is the Whopper Moppers.
Yeah, I talked about, I gave Tom the question, which was a little unfair, was no lineup the hottest team in fantasy football coming into this week. And he, he's an honorable owner, and so he gave the rifle credit for their streak and gives respect to these teams like no lineup. But Whopper Moppers, wow.
Wow is right.
150 points seems to be the norm, and I tried to curse them the best I could last week to no avail. 150.9
Overcome.
to 119.45.
And he overcame a 5.4 performance from Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
Think of it if you put Mayfield in there.
Yeah, I know. He when I saw that 5.4 from Brock Purdy, I had joy. I had joy in my heart.
I couldn't wait for this week, thinking I'm going to get to grill Tom about choosing love over BARFF. But he got the best of both worlds. How about that?
Yeah, he overcame.
He overcame. So, do you want to think about maybe say a few words? I mean, it's been a good season.
I'll tell you, this only happened the dust really settled Monday. And I haven't had a lot of time to process it. I think if you would indulge me in a couple of minutes, if the other owners on the line don't mind, I would like to express my feelings in song.
Yes, I think
all right.
You deserve to let it all out, bare your soul for the rest of the league.
I just don't want to carry this burden around with me anymore. And so, keeping in the spirit of the season, have a melody that's appropriate. Here we go, round one is here. Turn on the games and grab a beer. My team rarely wins, but somehow I'm in. Here in the BARFF playoffs Wonderland. When someday comes, it's so exciting. The knuckleheads are still here fighting. I flip on the app, I'm checking the chat. I'm here in the BARFF playoff Wonderland. Then the moppers start to blow my doors off. Win percentage really starts to fall. Monday night I'm kneeling on the carpet, praying for the biggest freaking miracle of all. But then it's done. Score can't get higher. I dry my tears by the fire. I'm out $50. The knuckleheads suck. Here in the BARFF playoff Wonderland. Here in the BARFF playoffs. I was in the BARFF playoffs Wonderland. God, I freaking hate fantasy football sometimes.
Wow.
Bravo.
Wow. I'm blown away.
I appreciate that opportunity at Catharsis.
That was amazing. We may have to hand out a Grammy this year for season end awards. That's how good that was.
Well, that's the only award I'm getting. Can't win a survivor pool. Get in the playoffs for the first time since you guys were seniors in high school.
Maybe comeback owner of the year, though.
Gross. So let's come back to reality, Tom. 150 points. This was clearly your game. It's a statement game in round one. Tell us about your keys to victory.
So I wasn't obviously watching the game Thursday night.
No, you were not.
No, I was unfortunately at a Christmas party with a bunch of Carolina's college friends who I don't know. But I kept opening up my phone and kept seeing 1 point, 2 points get later and later in the game, and obviously opened it up at the end of the night for 5.4 points. Woke up the next morning and I was saying to the Beans, oddly enough, wasn't that worried. Obviously you want 15, 20 points from your quarterback, but I still felt pretty good going into the rest of the week.
Yeah, because you're playing the knuckleheads.
Good point.
I feel like a lot of things have gone right this year. I mean, Moss got hurt in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
McConkey kind of came out of nowhere, and then you got Gibbs. Montgomery's probably done for the year, so a lot of things have gone right. So stars are aligning.
Yeah, I like it. I want to just call out the chat. Coos is weighing in. He's good viewer of the show right now, sing it Commish. So yeah, when I'm in that much pain, I'm gonna sing to you. So thanks for that chat, and this ridiculousness of Justin Jefferson can't, like 20 is low for him lately. Chase Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs now. Jordan, I'll throw this one to you. With Monty out, is Jahmyr Gibbs like a 25-point lock?
I have a lot of thoughts on this. Gibbs will have more opportunity for sure, but, like we're saying about Josh Allen, is this a guy you want to start running into the ground in week 15?
Right.
I don't think Dan Campbell's going to do that. I think maybe he has a slightly higher ceiling than he did before. But, I don't think it's going to be some crazy explosion now that Monty's out.
That's an interesting take. Christian, I'm calling up Trey McBride, the number 2 ranked tight end. He's averaging 15 points, and he's been on a hot streak of late. Does this continue in the playoffs? Is this someone that can be leaned on?
Yeah, he's easily the best receiver in Arizona. I think also he has caught like 1 touchdown or maybe 0 touchdowns all year.
0 touchdowns.
I think he might be. I mean, obviously Brock Bowers is the best tight end this year, but I think Trey McBride, if he had a better touchdown rate, would be close. Mm-hmm. I think he's great. But one comment on Jahmyr Gibbs. He was the number 3 ranked running back while sharing time with another running back one. And I think Tommy's the horse to win. I'll just caveat that. Because of how good the top of the NFC is, no one had the number 1 lock. So it's not like they're going to take him off the field because they need to win the bye.
Right.
So I think like Jahmyr Gibbs is like I think that would have been like, I don't want to say the nail in the coffin for the other teams, but that was like I was like, if I was Coos this week, I would like not be watching football Sunday. That's that type of vibe there.
Tom, tell me about your feelings when you heard that Montgomery was going out. Is this now like 150 points is an expectation for you? Are you riding Jahmyr Gibbs' train all the way to the end here?
I saw reports that there was like a knee injury or whatever, and I didn't think like anything of it. And I saw one on Twitter or whatever, and I saw he's probably done for the year. I'm like, wow. Well, I hopped on the app. His projection went from like 17 points up to like 24 this week or something. So
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, 24 is a lot of projection points, so.
Is this the horse to have right now? Because before we went on air, we talked about a player on another team who's having some injury issues, and that's the opposite feeling for what Moppers has with Jahmyr Gibbs. Alvin Kamara looks like he's really banged up and probably won't play this week.
That's right.
So is Jahmyr Gibbs out? Let's take Saquon Barkley out of it. Although let's keep Saquon Barkley in the conversation. Is Jahmyr Gibbs the running back to have heading into the playoffs, or the second round of the playoffs?
I mean, again, oddly enough, I fall in the same camp as Jordan. I think there'll be some extra opportunities, but I'm with Jordan. I think they want to cap it. If they lose him, to me, then they have no chance of advancing. So I think they're going to be smart about how they use them and not overuse them. But, I mean, how could you not be happy that you have him right now going into this?
What good news.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't want anyone to get hurt, but wow.
Right.
That's terrific.
He's probably going to get more. You know how Montgomery would get a touchdown or 2 every game?
Vulture, yeah.
I think those are the opportunities Gibbs might get. And, that bodes very well for the Moppers for sure.
Absolutely. And so we typically don't discuss consolation ladder games podcast because, hey, we got things to do.
Can I ask Tom a question I was going to ask if we lost?
Please.
See, I feel bad.
Sure.
Oh, yes.
I was going to ask, was Thursday night worth the loss? And it sounds like it was people you didn't know, so I'm kind of guessing the answer. But was it worth it?
No, I mean, no, not at all. If I lost, no. Absolutely not.
All right. I was sitting on that, and I'm like, oh, man, you overcame it. Okay. That's good to hear.
Dirt dog. He gets the girl and he gets the win.
That's what I mean.
What a weekend. What a weekend for the Moppers.
It's like destiny.
He gets the win, the girl, and Montgomery goes out hurt. It's great to be in Moppers land.
What a difference a year makes, huh, Tom?
Seriously.
Yeah.
I want to hear Tom singing those sad songs right now.
No.
All right, so
he's singing Amore probably as he's walking down the streets of Boston.
I would. I just, I don't know that feeling anymore. All right, so let's go into now. That is NFL Week 15 in the book. So let's start to turn our attention to next week, round 2 of the BARFF Fantasy Football Playoffs. Once again, we only have two games to review. So how do you want to? Do you want to get right into odds, or do you want to preview these games first?
Jordan, do you want to get into the sports book a little, or do you want to preview?
We can do whatever you guys want. But I will jump in one thing. I know we don't talk about the consolation bracket, but I will say Soarin Eagles putting up almost 150 points is like when you watch your favorite team lose and then you go play Madden on rookie mode and score like 100 points against a team that can't do anything. That's how I felt. It was very cathartic.
And I'll add to that. You said you almost scored 150 points. I had over 150 points, and I would beat every other team that was in the wild card round. So, Jordan, I'm with you, man. That hurt.
It's tough. Yep.
It's the 2 best teams that didn't make the playoffs right there.
I've got a lot of experience in the consolation ladder, and I can tell you it is best to really, you make your lineup set. Because I tell you, you don't want to fall to the bottom by accident. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. You want to be an honorable owner and play to the end. But don't look at it too much.
I wanted to make a statement. I looked at my lineup really hard. I wanted a statement to make.
I love it.
Because I'm still salty about not making a playoff.
I love it. All right, we're going to talk about the Final Four. But first, let's handicap BARFF semifinal week. It's our Final Four, and we are going to break it down with a little segment that we started with last week. We're getting it up on the screen. We call it the Gort's Book. And with that, Jordan, I'm going to ask you to take it away.
All right. Welcome back to the Gort's Book round 2. I think we'll start discuss the terrible performance everybody had on their bets last week. I went back and rewatched the pod. We went, let's see, in bets on the games, everyone went 3 for 10. And that was the Beans went 2 for 2, picking Rifle money line and Moppers money line.
Okay,
nice job, Beans.
I had one correct picking the Moppers spread from last week, but everybody else is wrong. And then the only featured parlay from last week that won was my favorite, the Hang Dong parlay.
Nice.
Draft PCR. Great picks there.
Well done.
All
right.
I didn't even know that. I'm really happy. See? Look at that.
That's
Tom, the trifecta. The parlay.
Oh, my goodness.
Great job.
Wow.
Jeez. It's raining gold coins and unicorns in Mopperlands. And I can say that because clearly he can't be cursed by the pod because I tried as hard as I could last week.
Exactly.
It was an honorable move, and I would do it again.
He's riding a wave like we've never seen.
He is. This is a hot team. All right, Jordan, let's get into it.
Yeah, so let's start. Let's do the same order we did last week. Let's start with the champions odds.
All right.
So, I mean, it's on everyone's mind. Things have shaken up the matchups last week. Whopper Moppers flew from 4th out of 6 to 1st out of 4. I mean, the team is hot. Montgomery's out. He's in love. It is, I mean, he's on fire right now. So he's coming in at plus 165 to win the championship.
Nice.
Okay.
Coming in after him, Springfield Rifle. 130 points, nothing to scoff at, especially as we get down to the wire. He's only got one game, and he's heavily favored in it. So he's coming in at plus 180 to win in second place. In third place, no disrespect, we got the Boston Beans. If the Beans were not playing the Moppers this week, I think their odds would be higher. But because they're coming up against the juggernaut in the Whopper Moppers, they're sitting at plus 195, right behind the Rifle. I think that Whopper Moppers Beans game is fairly close, but the Moppers are favored, so the Beans got some work to do. And then coming in at last, strictly due to how this week is looking for them, injuries and matchups and all of that. You lose in the news. You'll see it in the spreads and the betting lines for their game, but they have some hurdles to overcome this week, and they're coming up against a tough team in Springfield Rifle. So they're sitting, and I tried to juice these odds a little bit, taking your suggestions, Walt. So we're sitting at plus 325 for Huey Lewis in the news.
I see. I like what he did here.
Wow.
Because that's moving me.
Right?
I look at that and I'm saying,
oh boy,
that might be worth 20 right
Huey
there.
at 325.
Yeah, right? Especially it's Huey.
Mm-hmm.
Nines away,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, especially if he hears this.
I know.
He'll just sprinkle that magic dust
Yeah.
that he's got, and wow, something will happen.
Like I said, I like what you did there, Gort.
Christian, when you look at these odds, agree, disagree?
I know I made my parlay anti-Huey, but at 325, I love Huey. I'm not gonna lie, that's a
See?
I think this is a great job by Gort in this balance.
I am.
If I have a future as a bookmaker here.
Tom, I'm gonna skip you on this with this one because I don't want to get any gambling issues with one of our Final Four participants. So, all right, Jordan, where are we going next with the Gort's book?
Let's head over to the matchups.
Matchups. All right, again, we have a Civil War game, Huey Lewis in the News and the Springfield Rifle, and then the Battle of Chucktown with Whopper Moppers taking on Boston Beans. What do we got for spreads?
Let's start with the Battle of Pondview, Huey Lewis and the Rifle. For clarification, anyone who missed last week, I go in and I do my over-unders. I set the lines for each player in the team lineups. And that's where the spread and that's where the over-under comes from.
Nice.
So going through, doing the spread here, I got a 17-point advantage for the Springfield Rifle. Huey coming in projected in my estimations at 117.5. Rifle coming in at 134.5. And I mean, Huey's just got some tough matchups this week. And he's got some guys who are a little banged up and may not get out there. As of this morning, he still had the Steelers defense in his lineup, playing the Ravens. And I know, I'm a believer the Steelers have a really good defense, but Lamar Jackson and that Ravens offense has been high-powered this year, especially since their own defense has been letting them down. So the line on this one is set a little lower. It's a little bit of a more defensive affair. And again, juicing the odds, trying to encourage people. I got Huey at plus 210 and Rifle at minus 250 for money line.
Boy, oh boy.
This is easy. I'm not going to take Huey with the money line, but if you're going to spot me 17, I'm taking the spread. I'm taking Huey with the spread. I think they're going to keep it close, even with the odds stacked against them.
Yeah, 17 is certainly appealing. Tom, this isn't your game, so I'll go to you on this one. If you're looking at the spread and the money line right now, what do you got going on with this Huey Lewis and the Springfield Rifle? You take this action?
I'd probably touch it. I mean, I'd probably stay away from the money line, but I definitely take the spread. I think looks like Rifle. I mean, he's probably going to end up winning this one, but I do think it's going to be a lot closer than what the matchups are right now or what it's showing. So give me the spread.
All right, yeah, that spread is totally appealing. Christian, this is a 10-4 team. They've got to keep this within 17 points, you think?
Yeah, I agree there. I think the spread is definitely attractive. I mean, every time we say something about Huey, it always comes and bites us in the ass. So I think you have to take that spread. Like under the assumption he was going to pull some magical waiver wire pick that'll put up 30 points or something like that. So
yeah, if there's a quote that I'll take away from this show, it's every time we say something bad about Huey, it comes back to bite us in the ass, and that has been so true.
And what happens when we're all in alignment on a game?
No, it's the worst.
So
it's
now I can just say Rifle will cover, and
right.
I almost want to change my bet based on all of us agree.
All right, Jordan, let's move on to the Whopper Moppers and the Boston Beans.
Yeah, so for Moppers and Beans, we got a closer affair. Good matchups going both ways. I do think, one thing that I really changed up on the projections versus ESPN is on DeAndre Swift. I think they had Swift at around 14 or 15 points, and I'm putting his line at 10.5. tough matchup. And, as a former DeAndre Swift owner, he's a guy who can disappear. He's not grinding out games. He kind of needs open space and make those highlight reel plays.
Yep.
But other than that, the Beans got the Hurts and Brown stack. He's got Jamar Chase, Terry McLaurin. I think that Washington-Philadelphia game is going to be high scoring, and the Beans can benefit from both teams on that one. Looking at Whopper Moppers, though, I mean, it's the Moppers. He's got a good matchup, too. He's got Gibbs, unleashed. Trey McBride's been hot looking for the end zone, and they're trying to get him the ball in the end zone. So this is a high-scoring affair. We got the over-under set at 283.5. We got the spread leaning Moppers by 9 points, and we got Moppers at minus 145 for money line, and the Beans at plus 120.
Walt, you take any of this action?
Oh, yeah. So here's my analogy. You know when you walk up to a roulette table and you watch red come in like 5 times in a row,
yeah,
and you say, no, I'm going to go black. It can't happen again. You know what? The Moppers are on a heater. I'm doing 100 with the Moppers to -9 on the spread. I'll take that plus 105.
Got it. There it is. Tom, you can't bet this game, Christian. Whopper Moppers, Boston Beans. What do you got?
I got the over 283. I think that this is going to be a high-scoring affair. Like, there's so many juicy matchups in this game that it's just. I'm taking the over there. I think that Whoppers 150. I think the projection could be a bit light, if I'm being honest, with some of the players I'm watching here.
Yeah.
So I'm taking the over.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to agree with Christian on the over with this one. And to be honest, I want to stay away from that spread because I think one of these teams, we're going to talk to one of these owners next week, and they're going to have scored 160 points and lost by 20.
Yeah. I would not surprise me that we're going to see a really, really high-scoring battle between these two.
A lot of points going on. Jordan, you taking any of the action that you set up?
Yeah. Let me go both matchups for Saints to be recording it for next week.
Yes, please.
I'm gonna take the over in that Huey game. Josh Allen might score 252 points himself. Who knows? And then I'm gonna take, going back to last week, 3 teams took knuckleheads to cover the spread at 22 points, and it didn't happen. And the Whopper Moppers covered the spread themselves. So I'm going to go again. I'm going to take that favorite spread. I'm going to take -9 on the Moppers. That's my pick for that matchup.
Nice. All right. That's so far we've been looking at the matchups. We looked at the overall championship. And then tell us about what you did with parlays this week.
Less about me, more about the fun gaggle of eliminated teams in BARFF. So we can start from the top with Sody Pantload's parlay. He did a simple one. He called it the Don't Be Stupid parlay, coming in at plus 195, taking the underdog spread in both games. Boston Beans plus 9, Huey Lewis and the News plus 17.
Nice and basic, Walt. If you're looking at that, do you want that parlay?
Nah, I don't want no part of that. That's nothing. I mean, look at the odds, and I don't agree. Again, I can't go back how I just laid my money down on the Whoppers covering that spread. So right. I got to walk on that one.
Right. Tom, for Sody Pantloads, let's just throw you in here. We've got the Don't Be Stupid parlay. You want any part of that at plus 195?
No, I'm gonna stay away from that one.
Got it. Smart.
I don't love it.
I'm staying away from it also. Christian, what do you got? You want any part of this? Don't be stupid.
No, I do not.
Right.
It seems like a hedge out, if anything. If you're hedging your other bets, that seems like you use that for, but no.
So if you went hard in one of the others, you might throw some.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to trust a guy who's serving coffee? I mean, no. Come on. You're going to take your advice from that? No way.
Jordan, do you want this barista parlay?
No, not against. I think Moppers are going to cover the spread. 9 points is close in fantasy football. So I think one of those teams is going to win by 9, and I think it's going to be Moppers.
All right. Which parlay you want to talk about next?
Let's go over to the right. Let's go to your parlay, the bacon double down, reference to the king. This is a Whopper Moppers support parlay. We got the Moppers over 140 points, Baker Mayfield over 19.5 points, DJ Moore over 15.5 points, and Trey McBride over 18.5 points. Hoping he gets a touchdown in that game, it seems like.
It seems, yeah, that seems like people are expecting him to do some great things, but we'll see. Walt, what do you think? Bacon double down.
I kind of like it. The odds are there, and I think those odds are appropriate because of the Trey McBride leg.
Trey McBride makes this hard.
It does, because I think you guys are both on it. A touchdown there, that's an easy cover for McBride.
Yep.
So I just got a feeling he's going to get one. So I'm going to take that bet. I'm going to bet a little low.
All right.
Like $10, I think it's on that. But I like it. I think it's worth it.
$10 on the bacon double down for Born to Run. Christian, tell me about whether you want any part of this parlay at plus 1140.
I'm gonna say no because of the DJ Moore piece. Though DJ Moore, I think, covered this last week, or might have been close. He's the type of guy that goes for like 40, then goes for 3, and they're playing Detroit, so they need to throw the ball. But I just think that's like a trap leg in my opinion. So I'm out on this.
Gotcha. Before we move on any further, I want to bring some attention to the chat. We got Coos also threw in a belted out for the song. We appreciate that. He's going the UE spread all day. Coos is, and then he wants SGP Moppers money line and Moppers -9.
Oh, okay.
All right.
My God.
That's a worst team ever asked to bet.
Gordon doesn't have a backbone to bet on himself.
So that's Coos weighing in on the chat. Love to see the chat working. All right, let's go to Jordan. You taking any part of Bacon Double Down?
I am. I'm gonna put it on the table. I'm taking this parlay. I like the odds. DJ Moore scares me. I think Dan Campbell's going to be sitting on the sidelines looking at Caleb Williams and saying, I'm not letting this guy throw for 100 yards against me. But, everything else looks really juicy, and I like it.
All right. That's Bacon Double Down. Where do you want to go next?
Let's keep heading down the line. Let's go to Born to Run's parlay. We got the all gas up ode to the beans.
The beans.
Parlay. So we got in this one. We got plus 1660 for beans money line. Jalen Hurts under 26.5 points. Jay Ferguson over 6.5 points. And Justin Tucker over 9.5 points.
All right, well, all gassed up. This is your own.
Yeah, and again, it's because of the tribute to the beans. Now, it is hard to go against myself since I won my parlay hit.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest concern, obviously, and it's the contradiction going against the Moppers of taking the beans money line. Now, I do think Hurts under 26.5. I see that happening.
Yeah.
Him getting over 20 usually, I have no faith in him.
Yeah.
Right. And Ferguson, I think, against Tampa, I think CD's have banged up a little. I think that's going to be solid. That's easy.
Yeah.
And Tucker, we were talking, Ravens' offense is great, but they might stall. So, he's missed a lot of field goals. So I am worried about that. That's why I think the odds are really good. There's a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah.
I guess I got to take it, but I'm going low money on this one. Or maybe a 5 ski on it and call it a day.
All right. Christian, all gassed up. You interested in this at plus 1660?
Yeah, I'm following Wall. I think I'm putting a low dollar. I'm going to do like a half a unit, something like that, because the Beans money line scares me. Love the rest, but Beans money line definitely scares me.
Yeah, Beans money line scares me too. I think I passed on Bacon Double Down. Passed on Don't Be Stupid. I'm passing on all gassed up also. Yeah, and we gotta stay away from Tom on this. I don't want any accusations. I can't have him say he's not bad on the Beans. So, what does that leave us with, Jordan?
That leaves us with.
Oh, sorry. Wait, hold on, Jordan. You gotta weigh in on all
Yeah,
gassed up.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm not taking that.
Not even coming clear.
Yeah, that was Whopper's money line, and then the under, and
Yeah.
the rest, I'm taking it. But and I think Justin Tucker is a really good over. I think against Pittsburgh, the Ravens, they might not get to the end zone, but the offense can move the ball and get in the field goal range. So I think Tucker is a lock. But Yeah, so I'm not taking that just because of the Beans money line.
All right. Let's go to the one of the best titles for the parlays that we've seen. Go into no lineup needed parlay.
Yeah, so this one is he offered two names for this for background. I forget what the other one was, but I couldn't stop at Filicide.
No, that was a good choice.
So, by the way, us people from Chicory had to look that word up because we were very unsure what that meant. I thought it, honestly, Christian, I thought it might have been sexual in nature. I really was unsure what that was.
You got it, though. You figured it out.
All right, so what do we got in Filicide, Jordan?
We got Rifle Moneyline. We got Puka over 17.5 points. We got Justin Herbert over 15.5 points. And Juwan Jennings over 12.5 points. Coming in at plus 1,020.
All right, well, Filicide.
I like the odds. I think you can't go wrong throwing a little action on the Rifle money line. The Puka one, believe it or not, worries me because of weather.
Yeah.
Of all things.
Uh-huh.
Because it's supposed to be like 19 degrees, like 20 mile per hour winds.
Yeah.
Might be a little tricky throwing. So that really concerns me. I'm going to pass because I just don't like the Jennings either. The 49ers offense is they're just not good. Yeah. So I'm passing. I don't like it, although I love the name.
Yes, it's a great name, and I got to tell you, I just can't go anywhere near Juwan Jennings over 12.5 points, so I'm passing on that. Christian, what do you in your own parlay, Filicide? You taking this?
I'll take my own. And then just for the other name, it was not so big to be square.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Any Huey Lewis in the news. But I'll take it. I mean, Puka got, I think, exactly 17.5 points in the previous rubber game. And they seem fine feeding him the ball no matter where he is. So I like Puka over. Jennings, I'm just like, I don't know if San Francisco can make the playoffs anymore, but if that offense has any hope of doing anything, it seems like he's the guy to do it now, him or Kittle. So I figured 13 is a decent spot. But yeah, I'll take it.
That's valid. Tom, Filicide, you want any part of this action?
I actually do really like this. And probably hammer it, honestly. I love the Rifle money line. Puka over 17.5. I feel like it's kind of weatherproof, regardless of the conditions out there. The only thing that scares me is Herbert under 15.5 tonight. But I do think Jennings is going to end up going over 12.5. Nice. So yeah, I'll take it.
All right, Jordan, you going Filicide, and how much?
You know what? I would have thrown a good amount on the bacon double down, and I'm going to throw a smaller amount on the Filicide.
Okay.
Because I like it, but I'm in the same boat as Juwan Jennings really scares me.
Yeah.
Just because San Francisco feels deflated.
Oh yeah, they are. They're done. Yeah, I know they're done.
Yeah, definitely. They're packing it in. 100%.
Yep.
I don't think they're going to be very creative. And I think that's where Juwan Jennings will thrive. And then, hoping a quarterback goes under 15.5 points is always a little scary. But that is a really tough matchup for Herbert, and I think they're going to run the hell out of the ball. So I'm going to throw a little bit of money on this one.
All right. So
like
that wraps up the sports book, Gort's book. I'm sorry, because we do not do sports book here at BARFF Fantasy Football. We do the Gort's book, and that was a great job. Jordan, are you going to keep track of it? Can you let us know next week how everyone did?
Yeah, I'll do the same thing.
That's
beautiful.
Terrific.
Yeah,
that's terrific.
To be clear, we're betting in BARFF dollars.
Yes. Yes.
And I'll say this. I'll put out there. Let's put the Commish's face on the dollar bill.
BARFF.
The founding father. Yeah, BARFF Fox. I love it.
BARFF Fox. Yeah, that's terrific. All right. So we have two games that we just gambled on, and let's talk about a good preview. Walt, which game you want to start with?
Yeah. So let's start with the Moppers and the Beans because this is a very compelling game, I think.
Whopper Moppers at 8-6. They're at 145.4 according to ESPN projections to 133 for the Boston Beans. The Beans were sitting on the bye last week, and now it's time for playoff action. Walt, I'll start with you. What do you see happening in this one?
So there's a couple of matchups that I think if certain guys can overcome. So the Eagles Commanders game, it's really Jalen Hurts. And I really still have a problem with that 24.6 projection for him for point total. And then I flip it, and I look at Mayfield with 20.8, And I just find it hard to believe Mike Evans is not going to throw up another 30 points against the Cowboys secondary.
Right.
Because he's so big, physical, they'll have a hard time dealing with him.
Yeah.
I feel, Mayfield's going to, go over that projection. I think Jefferson is starting to heat up now. You got McBride. The matchups just are too tough to ignore. I think, Burrow's got dinged up a little. A divisional matchup game, even though it's Cleveland and they're lousy.
Right.
You know how those always go. They never end up being as high scoring as you think because they know each other.
Yep.
So I just feel the Beans have too much to overcome. And again, you got the hottest team in the league. I can't go against a team that's that hot with so much momentum coming in.
100%. This is looking like a juggernaut. We hate to say it on the air, but that's what we got. Christian, who do you got in this one? Whopper Moppers versus Boston Beans.
Oh, I got the Moppers. And I hate because I think we're going to have a unanimous across the board, so I'll apologize in advance. But, I mean, that team is so good. Like, top 4 names in there are all potential game breakers. Plus, you have Trey McBride, Brandon Aubrey, who's also probably good for like 15 points a game. So I find it tough to sell me on the Beans this week.
Yeah, and think about it. They're going to let, if there's a 70-yarder, they're going to let Aubrey try it.
Right. Why
I mean,
not?
how ridiculous is that, right?
Yeah. Started off hot, cooled off a little bit, but boy, that's still a kicker that capable of getting you 12, 13, 14 points a week. Jordan, Whopper Moppers versus Boston Beans.
Ooh, I mean, I'm taking Moppers, but I will just disagree with a little bit of the sentiment. I really think that Philadelphia-Washington game is going to be crazy. And if that game is high scoring, I think it's that's going to be the difference. I think, Washington, if they're really looking to stay in the hunt, and then, making the Eagles match up with them, if that turns out to be a game where both teams are scoring 30 points, I think the tides could shift. But other than that, I think the Whopper Moppers got it.
Yeah, Jamar Chase also has kind of a juicy matchup this week.
But I agree with Jordan on that. I think if that ends up being one of those games back and forth, then, McLaurin's going to do well.
Yeah.
And I already said I think Ferguson's going to overshoot that 8.8 by a lot on his projection. So
sure.
I do agree with Jordan. That's a high-scoring game. It's going to be a lot closer maybe than we think.
All right. Tom, I'll give you the opportunity to go all worst team ever on us. Do you see Boston Beans having a path to victory this week?
So I do think, I'm not going to go worst team ever, but I do think it's going to be a pretty high-scoring game. I do love my matchups, though. I mean, I think Bucky should be good to go. I think him and Mayfield might be a decently high-scoring game, so I think you can see Baker throwing for like 350 yards, a couple touchdowns. DJ Moore, Detroit's really banged up. They don't have anyone left in their secondary on defense. So I think he could put up big numbers. Jefferson scares me a little bit. Looks like the weather's going to be kind of iffy out there, but I do like my matchups this week. I do think it's going to be a pretty high-scoring game between the both of us, though.
Yeah, definitely.
And Detroit can't rush the quarterback either now. They got no one to rush the quarterback either.
It's such a great team, but Tom hit it right on the head. Like, injuries are just, it's crazy 100%. What they're going through over there in Detroit. So that is matchup number 1, the Battle of Chucktown. Let's talk about the Battle of Pondview, Civil War game. Springfield Rifle taking on Huey Lewis in the News. Right now, the Rifle have a big projection victory, 136.8 to 113.8. That is a huge spread heading into round 2 of the playoffs for a number 1 team coming off the bye. To be that projected so low is interesting to me. Walt, does this hold up? Does Springfield Rifle walk away with this?
So I just think there's some sneaky matchups that the Huey has. So let's say Barkley returns to form and it goes with Jordan's thought. It's a high-scoring game. High-scoring game, then Barkley's going to be maybe near 30.
Yeah.
Rico Dow, the Cowboys are feeding him the ball.
That's all
he's
got.
And the only reason he's at 12 is, again, he's not scoring touchdowns.
Right.
But he exceeds that projection. I think Ridley's another sneaky one you got to watch out for. And, everybody's kind of crapping on Debo. Here I see Debo. This is a typical Huey right here. Debo get like 30 points out of nowhere.
When he needs it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a foregone conclusion because if you flip it around, and let's take Josh Allen out of it, he's got Xavier Worthy on there. Xavier Worthy could be 3 points easily.
Right.
We already talked about Jennings, could be low score. So, I don't know. I don't say, I just can't count Huey out. And for some reason, I just feel Huey finds a way to win.
Sure.
I'm taking Huey.
Sure. All right, Jordan, what do you think? Huey Lewis and the News, Springfield Rifle.
Yeah, I don't like that I had to put plus 325 next to Huey's name in the book for the championship odds. And, it sucks that he's got Kamara out. But I feel the same way. Like, let's say Justin Herbert can get to 20. He doesn't get stifled too much by Denver. Calvin Ridley's got 3 games above 23 points this year. If the ball heads up going Khalil Shakir's way, like, if we look at this game after the fact and we see, like, all of those players at 18-plus points, we're not going to be shocked. It's just, there's some circumstances. They're not always super consistent, and that's been the Huey story this season.
Right.
It's always worked out for him. So he's got a chance. I'm taking Rifle. I'm not going to bet against Allen and Cook. I think, odds are Rifle's going to take this one, but I agree. I don't think we can count Huey out.
Yeah, it's always a bad idea. Christian, you had the great quote about Huey. How do you see this game going, Rifle versus Huey Lewis?
So, I think it's going to Rifle, personally, but I do think it's going to be tighter than, especially what this line has. I'm surprised after last week's performance that he has the Xavier Worthy in instead of Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen looked legit in that game, and I think if we think DJ Moore's going to do well, Keenan Allen is like a good safety spigot because he's like a veteran. They don't have a good tight end. Mm-hmm. So I'm surprised that he's not in there, and if he is, I'm going to lean even more to the Rifle.
Okay.
But again, I think there's just that Huey Lewis magic that could come alive, and Calvin Ridley could put up 30 points or 40 points or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't love the Khalil Shakir for the same reason you talked about Josh Allen not needing a ton of work to beat New England. I feel like they might just sit all their starters, and Khalil Shakir is needed for that team to do well in the playoffs. So that's the one sort of downside on the Huey Lewis side. But that's it. And I'm also surprised he didn't pick up whoever the backup is for Kamara, just in case. Because Debo, he might do good this week, but that is a strange start this year.
It's a tough time of year to trust anyone in that San Francisco offense, especially when it's all on the line. And we talk about Huey being unorthodox. We've called attention to this before. I think that there's no greater example of his unorthodox approach than the fact that he has 4 players on the bench, 4 total, and 3 of them are out this week. So he has 1 player on his bench that he would be able to sub in.
That's amazing to me.
It's amazing.
And I can say this. No other owner is as loyal to his players as Huey is.
Yep.
Debo, Deontay, it doesn't matter.
Nope.
He's staying with them.
Stays with his horses.
So, hey.
Tom, you could see one of these teams if you are able to defeat the Beans. You got the Rifle playing Huey Lewis in the News. Who do you got this week?
I do hate betting against Huey, but I think I am leaning Rifle this week. I do think it's going to be closer. Interesting keeping Pittsburgh defense in there. I feel like there's a couple other options, but I mean, if Barkley could go for 30 points, Dowdle could go for 20-something, I mean, Huey's probably going to be right there. So I think it's probably going to come down to his running backs. They can both have big days. I think it's going to be pretty close.
Yeah, I think this is a close game. I think the ESPN projections are insane. There's no way. When they played last week, the Rifle, in week 10, the Rifle beat Huey Lewis 129.3 to 111.8. Again, it's tough to beat these teams multiple times, so we'll see. Exciting couple of matchups as we head into round 2 of the playoffs. Actually, they split in week 1. They played each other, and Huey Lewis blew up and took them out 147 to 111. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here in this the battle of Pondview. So yeah.
Looking forward to it. It's going to be something.
Looking forward to it for sure.
So Tom's looking to finally break be that first-time winner.
This is it.
I love it.
Christian, the last 2 years, no lineup has been to the championship game with strong tailwinds pushing them along, and has fallen just short. This year we see a round 1 exit. Now is it Tom's time to get in that final ring and see if he can't get a trophy to hold at the end of the year.
Yeah, no, definitely. Otherwise, we might see once again one of the Davis family prevailing.
Yep, we'll have some. So, yeah, I mean, if it's one of the Davises, then we're going to have to start counting championships. Yeah, I always lose track of that. And then the Beans would be looking for their third, I believe. Is that true? Their third BARFF title. So,
wow, that's impressive.
Yeah. There's a lot of exciting scenarios that are brewing right now. So that's terrific. And that's it. That's what we got. Well, anything else as we head out through round 1 of the playoffs is behind us. We're in the semis.
Yeah. No, I like I said, I think this is a lot of parity this year. I'd say of the 4 teams, I could see any one of them actually winning the championship. 100%. So, I think we're going to get a lot of good texts going and a lot of close games. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep, I agree. Christian, anything for the good of the order?
No, I mean, excited to see this, and I'm back in Tommy. Hope you can pick up the first, and then it's just me versus worse than ever. And I think I do have the edge of getting my first there.
I mean, you gotta love those odds.
Attitude problems.
Hey,
I love.
Hey,
I
Gord.
put the house on those.
Hey, Gord, give me some odds on that one. The odds of who gets it first. Either
Next,
Christian or
first team to win a championship. No lineup needed or worst team ever. I'm going to go plus 2,500 for worst team ever and minus 2,000 for
Wow, I appreciate that show of confidence there.
until worst team ever turns that attitude around.
And it's never going to happen.
That's hard. Yeah.
It's ingrained.
Jordan, thanks for another round of the Gort's book. It's turning into an exciting segment, and looking forward to more results. So thank you for that. Absolutely.
Hey, Tom, last question. Are you and Tony going to be in separate rooms watching, or can we do it together in a peaceful manner?
Tony will actually be in Myrtle Beach, so we will not be together.
Tony's getting on a plane again? Holy cow!
He loves flying now.
Oh,
Right.
man, oh, man.
That's good for him. All right, Beans, you're doing it right. Cold weather, it's time to go to Myrtle Beach. Nice job. All right, Tom.
Tactical Myrtle Beach trip to escape his potential downfall.
Tom, you motivated song to come out of the commish to ease my pain. Do you have anything else as we close the door on round 1 of the playoffs?
I did love the song and nothing more. Good luck to the 4 remaining teams.
All right, I agree. That is it. And thanks for everyone for participating. This really makes it good. Thanks, Coos, for weighing in on the chat. Love to hear from you. We love to have all the owners participate. Only 2 podcasts left, which is so sad. But let's make them good ones, and good luck to all.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Christmas, BARFF.
Merry Christmas.